Here's how I assembled this schoolhouse block, which will be part of a community quilt. So I was given these supplies and a pattern to follow, and I just followed it, Lamau. But I started off by cutting these triangles to make into squares. And I also cut the fabric to size. This is really nerve-wracking because I did not have like a marker to mark it with, and I was just like doing vibes. But I did have measuring tape, fortunately. But yeah, just folding over the fabric and cutting and praying. And once I had all my pieces ready, I started to assemble the actual pattern. I started by sewing together my triangles to make into squares using 1/4 inch of seam allowance, and I followed my sewing machine guide. And then I ironed the squares flat with the seam folded onto the darker side of the fabric so that it doesn't show up on the other side. Do you understand? Because that was really new for me too. So I put together my pieces and I could already see it forming, and I cut away the excess fabric so that all the squares were like 3 inches by 3 inches. And once I had everything laid out, I was ready to sew. I started by doing the top row first. Okay, so boom, and then I did the doorway. This part was kind of easy because it's pretty straightforward, just sewing the pieces together, and then I did the window following the same steps. But here's where I messed up a little bit because you see this little flaw? Yeah, that bugged me, but we still move. I realized that's what happens when you don't lay your seams flat and correctly in the right way because it could cause bumps in the fabrics. And I also had to sew over because I didn't catch the fabric right the first time. But everyone makes mistakes, and this was my first time, so I think this was still a success. And then I finally did the roof piece, which was kind of challenging because you have to align it perfectly. And if you're wondering how I was able to piece it together, I followed the same principles of putting right sides together and then sewing. And here we have the house basically. All I need to add is the chimney, and I added that, and here it is. And then I packed it up and dropped it off. Follow to see the final quilt.